So I'm going to go over a few of the topics that I'll probably be talking about this morning, just to kind of give you an overview, and then we're going to dive right in. To kind of give you the basics of background checks and what you should be looking for your organization. A couple things I'm going to cover. Choosing a CRA, and I'll talk about what a CRA is. Using a reporting agency for background. So how to choose the right agency for your needs. Understanding the types of background checks that are available. So there's, I think somebody referenced, we do the cursory level. There are lots of different background checks we need. So when you hear a company say we do background checks, that's a very broad statement. It could be very in-depth background checks, could be run gamut, could be very high level, just simple ones. So I'll talk a little bit about that, how to choose what might be right for your organization and the population that you work with. Dealing with the results. So once you do a background check and you get the results back, how to deal with that. What you should be doing, what kind of conversation you should be having internally, how to deal with the decisions that you'll make around employment. Staying compliant, so making sure that you're doing what you need to do to keep your organization out of trouble. And I will also preface this with saying, I am not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. I am here just to kind of give you our opinions of what we found as being the best practices. So if there's anything that comes up in your day-to-day life of doing background checks within your organization, please always consult your legal counsel for a final decision if you're unsure. We are always available to give you our advice and what we believe is the best approach. And Aaron does that on a daily basis, but we are not legal counsel. Either one of us are attorneys. So I'll say that out front as well. Last thing I'll talk a little bit about is timing of checks. When should you do checks? Best practices around that, and then some alternatives that you might look at for your organization in terms of running background checks. So first thing, like I said, talk a little bit about CRAs, consumer reporting agencies. These are the third-party agencies that provide information that are included in their background checks. So there are over 3,000 of these organizations that you can find online that say they offer background checks or they offer information on applicants. They can run a gamut of, as I said, the types of checks that they run can be very simple. Can be database checks that just kind of give you, they're just basically regurgitating information that they find online or other resources, or they can be doing a lot more in-depth checks. So when you talk to those agencies, make sure you're asking a lot of questions to identify what exactly you need for your purposes and what they offer. One thing that you should, I think a good question to always ask is, are they accredited? So are they an accredited organization? So there is an accreditation that CRAs can get from the Professional Background Screeners Association, the PBSA. So this requires a lot of audits, significant steps about process, security, information holding to make sure that the information that they're gathering for you on your applicants are not shared, that they are kept internally. So there's a lot of steps that are required as an accredited organization. So for example, AIM is an accredited, PBSA accredited organization. We're required to be audited by several different levels of coming in and kind of making sure that all of our, Aaron mentioned, all of our screeners have received their certification from the FCRA, so that they understand the ins and outs, what's legal, what's required, what can be reported at each level, how to do those checks, things like that. So that's one part of the PBSA accreditation. So it's just like any accreditation. If you work for a professional organization that you said you're accredited, there's a lot of steps that are involved. So there are some organizations that are accredited, some are not. We are one of the, I think we are the only accredited organization, one or two, in the state of Missouri. One, that's right, in Missouri, that's accredited.